Coalition Chris, you're back. Thanks, man. We missed you the other night. Would have loved to have you on the show. We did an amazing PC. It was a PC for a kid that's just super deserving of it. And I asked a bunch of brands to come in and help me with this. And sure enough, guess what? They all did. There was no hesitation. Sceptre actually came in with a IPS display for this kid, one of these 24-inch displays. Now that one was, I think, only 165 hertz, but who's counting really at that point? So we have a lot of monitors today. I got 6 monitors to go through. I'm going to keep them moving here. Definitely, it's an interactive show. I'm going to say hi to the people in Amazon World. Hi, Amazon World. This is sponsored by Sceptre. They did spend a small promotional fee with me. I have to disclose that up front, just from FTC regulations. And I do make a single-digit commission on some of these monitors if you buy them, which the prices are so low right now. Honestly, it is tiny. It is very tiny. But I would have shown these anyway. That's the big secret here, because when I do my Tech on Tuesday show or Tech Day Live, I've been showing Sceptre monitors for years now. So it's pretty awesome. I see we're getting some people coming in. If you're on Amazon, give me a shout out there. And if you're not, go ahead and take a look on Amazon. Let me show you guys how to get there. Gotta know how to pull my captions up here. Shop the Black Friday deals. Here we go. Let me know in the chat if you guys have picked up anything else cool for Black Friday. I'd love to know that. I already did some of my shopping. I think I spent a little too much already. But without further ado, we are going to get kicked off here with the Sceptre C25. The C25 is their, I would say it's their introductory 240 hertz monitor, but the price on this is ridiculous. So let's get that up here. This is what my front porch looked like the other day. I'm going to send this out to the feed here so you guys can see this. It'll take 1 second to get that over to the feed. I want to show you what was going on with my front porch. That's what it looked like the other day, because Sceptre sent me all of the monitors for today's show at once. My poor FedEx guy, I think he was hurting there. This is the first monitor that we're going to take a look at. Here are the stats on it, just so you guys can see. It is a 25-inch class. So when you're comparing it to other monitors, make sure you're looking at that. If you're comparing a 24, 25, it's 24 and a half. It is a full HD set. It is a 240 hertz, which obviously means at this price point, it's going to be a VA panel. But that said, nearly 300 nits of total brightness there, you can see. And I happen to have it right here. So we're going to take a look at it. I'm going to show you the unboxing and show you how quick this is to set up. I could have unboxed it for you now, but I wanted to play with it. So I'm going to bring the unbox video up for you guys, and I'll kind of narrate as we go. So this is the unboxing. There's going to be a handsome guy in here doing this in the studio. All of Sceptre monitors come with this elusive screwdriver. I love it. I collect these things, but you can see all the items there. It is a fixed stand. It's adjustable for tilt, but not for up and down. But for the price point, go pick up a nice gas strut monitor arm. It does include this Visa plate you'll see there in the instructions. So that's that little star thing. I'm putting the base on. That's going to be 2 screws. And I put 1 screw here in the back, and you are good to go at that point. So perfect, ready to go. And we will go over all of the cool things about this monitor now. So that's the unboxing, and I plugged it into my Xbox. That's one thing I wanted to say is actually these monitors can actually work with multiple different types of devices. You're not just stuck to PC gaming anymore. Even the 240 hertz monitors. I see a winner in the mix. Adam Williams, thanks for checking in, my friend. He just got his device sent out today. We gave away a bunch of devices on the last show. Uh-oh. Jeremy says, haven't bought anything yet. No money till next month. I know what that feels like. Trust me, absolutely. One of the nice things about all of the Sceptre monitors is they are incredibly budget friendly. I would say we could challenge this if you want. Send me a link to another monitor that you think is going to be close with the same specs as this, and we'll talk, because these things have definitely got all of the bells and whistles at a budget price point. 240 hertz used to be, and I'm looking for where is my remote for that? Oh, over here. Hold on 1 second. Looking for my Xbox remote. I'm like, this is going to be really sad of a demo if I can't fire up the Xbox. Well, maybe that isn't the one. This is what happens. Oh, it's right behind me over here. You got so many kids that they love to take the remotes from me. So here we go. I was just playing a little Forza Horizon on this one, but again, 240 hertz was reserved for the, over $200 price range, even for the smallest size. And this one coming in right now at $120. Incredible value on this one. Do want to show you a couple quick things. I am going to use a bunch of different monitors, different cameras and camera angles today, so I can get closer for you guys. If you do want to see anything close up here in the set today, just let me know. I'm going to show you this one, the on-screen display of it here. So menu buttons are down below. They have updated their menus, and this is so welcome because, usually you wanted to hit something really quick like a volume. You can hit those two volume keys right here, and you have direct access to increase volume. So that's another interesting thing that you don't see often in this budget price point. These monitors all have speakers. Sceptre is one of the few that are still including speakers, and I'll tell you what, if you're using this for a kid's room or maybe with an Xbox or PlayStation 5 that has audio out, or even your PC with audio out, speakers are nice to have. Again, simple menu controls. It's going to pop up the menu. It is updated. It's going to tell us that full HD resolution. Jeremy was just asking, is this 1080p? And absolutely it is. It's already running at 120 hertz, and we don't have the variable refresh rate going, and there's the overdrive setting. So it does have overdrive capability. 240 hertz on an Xbox is not possible, but you can go to 120 hertz, which still looks gorgeous, and I'll show you what that looks like here. I just happen to be crashing a Supra right now. This monitor is turned brightness-wise almost all the way down just for my cameras here. But what I love about that smooth refresh on the Xbox Series X, look at that. You can get the frame rates going so fast and how smooth that is. I'm actually doing pretty good driving today. Well, okay, I might have spoke too soon. I am staying on the pavement. Let's say that. We had a great stream a couple months ago with Nerd on a Budget where we did a race in all Supras, and if you didn't see the finish of that one, it was a nail biter. It was pretty cool. But that's the basic overview of the monitor. I'm going to go crash off into the woods here now. I do want to talk to you about some of the connectivity. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that looks there. So VA panels, view angles are usually a tough item on that, but you know what? If you look at that, see, I'm turning this thing all the way around. Now, curved monitors will naturally also be a little bit harder on the view angle, but let me show you what a view angle difference is here and what that curvature looks like. So I'm bringing this curve in here. You see that curve there? Oh, I hit my desk. It's alarming that I hit something on it. So this is a 1500R curve. So there's different radius curves. And what that means is if you were to draw a circle and it had a 1500, I believe it's centimeter radius, that would actually curve perfectly around that circle. Now, an 1800R is actually less. And my Nebula, the one that they don't have anymore, I was going to show that today, is actually a 1000R curve, and it's super tight. 27 is right at that spot where I think that the curvature is really necessary, so you can kind of take it or leave it. This is a 24, and you rarely see a curvature on a 24-inch monitor like this. I'm going to check in here with the chat. I got a few product clicks. I love it. People are checking in already. 15. Oh, there's more people checking in. If you're on Amazon, go ahead and hit that follow down there and give me a shout out in the chat. I'd love to talk to you on Amazon if you have any questions about this. So that's what we were talking about, was the curvature. Let's talk about the rear I/O on this one. So different monitors will have different I/O patterns, and none of them are perfect. I'll tell you that right off the bat here. So this one, all the I/O is actually here at the bottom in the back. I'm going to lift it up for you here. So there you go. It has power, which is a 12 volt. I'll tell you more about that later because that's a really cool thing to have. That's going to have a 2 display port and 2 HDMI. So there's your display ports. That's going to get the highest refresh rate. So if you're on a PC, make sure you do that high refresh rate. And then over here is the green audio connector. This is for your headphones. And what's neat about it is you don't have to go squirrel into the back of your PC anymore. The audio passes through a single HDMI cable, goes to the monitor, that goes to your headphones. So that makes it a lot easier if you want to plug your headphones directly up here. Doesn't really add any perceptible latency, but it's really, really convenient. I'll tell you that. I do that a lot on mine. The other thing somebody noticed is they said, "Ooh, RGB." Yeah, you can't not have an RGB strip. And we have a friend of the show, Coalition Chris, says, "Great for the money." Absolutely, yeah. If you look at this at $120, what is that? 50 cents a hertz. So when we say 240 hertz, that means that this monitor is refreshing 240 times a second at max. Now, I had my stepson call me the other day, and he says, "Hey, you got any 165, 200 hertz monitors around?" I said, "Well, no, this is the ones." And I sent him a couple Sceptre links, and he goes, "No, I meant around," because he wanted to get those, but he was confused because he says, "Yeah, if I get that, my frame rates are going to be faster." Frame rates are dictated by your PC. So this is a PC over here. I'll show you. We'll probably hit the 240 on some games. Your Xbox is going to hit 120. It doesn't matter. The monitor sets your high-end limit, though. So remember that. So if you do go out and buy a massively cool graphics card, but you're running an old 60 hertz panel, it's not going to go any faster on the screen than the panel can do. So don't let that be your bottleneck. So there we go. That is the first monitor to kick us off here. I'm going to bring the stats one more time, just make sure I didn't miss anything. Peak brightness, 240 nits of peak brightness. Now, I like that to be higher. I like 300 or better, mostly on laptops, maybe 350. But laptops, you're generally taking out in the field, and you're going to be in the sun. You're going to be in sunny rooms, maybe a kitchen table. If this is in your gaming room, 280 is going to be fine. And if you want more LCD or nits of brightness, stick around. I've got some other ones that I'm going to show you here as well. Just taking a look. Let's go over to the Amazon site. I want you to be able to see what I'm showing here. So as I recommend always, if you visit my Amazon shop, bringing this up, the one that's scrolling along the ticker along the bottom, this is what you see. You get picture in a picture in a picture, kind of like Inception. Come down to Scepter's Black Friday specials. And these are all the monitors that we're going to show today. I do want to pull up the monitor that I have in front of me here. There is going to be another more affordable 24-inch, but it's not going to nearly have the same specs as this one. So this is the one right here. 4.5 stars on 1,858 ratings. So lots of people buying this monitor, and they're loving it, which we like. It does have free Prime shipping if you're a Prime member, which means you can get it early next week in most cases. And if you look at the other monitors that are in this little matrix here, I'm going to cheat and just zoom in real quick for you guys. Those are the first 4 monitors I'm going to show you today. So you're going to get to see all these. We're going to come back to this page a lot. Scepter's got a really good graphic artist. I wish I had that person that can set these up, but it is incredibly well packaged, as they're talking about. I didn't get to show you the details in the unbox, but the one thing I'd always recommend on curved monitors especially, keep the box for warranty work, but most importantly, if you're moving or if you just need to set it down, like I was moving monitors around today on different monitor arms, I set it down in the curved box. It fit perfectly, and that's what I highly recommend. It doesn't have an adjustable base, so that's one drawback I would say, on this, but again, we're keeping it a very economical price point. So if you want an adjustable base, I'm going to bring you guys back here in just a second. We'll show you this. But there is an adapter, and I don't want you to lose that in the packaging. If you did misplace it in the packaging, contact Sceptre. They take care of you. I've seen them help people out. They want to help you as well. And let's take a look at the last here. These are the physical specs of it. A 24-inch curved monitor, excellent size for kids' rooms. I really do like this profile, let's say, this 24-inch profile. This was the biggest monitor I had for the longest time until I started moving up. And speaking of moving up, that's what we're going to do now. So I was just in the Xbox. We were taking a look at Forza Horizon here. It'll look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and reset. We're going to get the next one out, and we're going to have to unbox this next one that's coming up here. Give me 1 second. And I'm taking a look for the chat here. Oh, yeah. Adam Williams says, I love my ultra wide, but I hate needing the latest and greatest expensive graphics card to go with it. Yeah, to keep those high frame rates. There is a Sceptre, one of the first ones I ever reviewed on my channel. It is a 200 hertz panel, but it's a 1080 ultra wide. So still has that 21:9 aspect ratio, but it literally is 200 hertz. It has a little bit of ghosting issue at that rate, but if you bump it down to 144 or 165, It looks excellent, and you don't have to hurt your graphics card as much. That is one other thing. If people are talking about the 1080 resolution and going, oh, why aren't these 4K? Why aren't these higher? I've got higher resolution monitors coming up, but that is because your Xbox, your PlayStation, your PC don't have to work as hard to send these pixels around. And if you think about it, this is a good example. Let's say you wanted a 4K 48-inch monitor. Well, this is a 24.5. If you quad this thing out, you're actually getting 4K resolution equivalent of a TV that would be this size. So if you're happy with a 4K 50-inch TV, that's what the resolution is when it's at 1080, because it's a quarter of the monitor size. So quick thing to remember there. I'm going to bring this guy down, and we will get the next box up here, because I'm going to show you guys how we do this live unboxing. Now, my UPS guy, unfortunately, or actually I think it was FedEx. I hate to blame the wrong company. My FedEx guy destroyed the other one. And if that ever happens in an Amazon situation, if your monitor was being shipped and something got hurt, they will take care of you. Don't worry about that at all. That's one thing I love about buying from Amazon and Sceptre as well. They actually sent me not one, they sent me two accidentally of these. So we're going to try them out here, make sure that we have a good one out of these. They come with these straps on the outside, protected as well. The packaging on these is actually pretty unique, I would say. They're not very big. For the size that the monitor actually is, the packaging is pretty efficient. So you can pack a lot of these in. As you saw, they fit 6 monitors on my doorstep the other day. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one up. I'm also going to get our sign updated because we've switched on to the next one. And this is the C275B FWT 240. Did I get the T in there? Yes, it is. So their model numbers, be real careful when you're looking at the different Sceptre monitors, because the model numbers vary slightly, but it could be a very big difference. Most of the C models, that's the easy indication for curved. So when you see C27, C32, C34, like it's coming up here, you're going to see that. Now, very quickly, I want to switch to the top camera here. You'll see right away as I pull this out, I'm looking for the accessories. You want the accessories on the top. It's also labeled top. There we go. And then I will put this off to the side. Like I said, keep this styrofoam. You're going to want it. This is going to help hold and protect the monitor. I'm going to put this sideways. We'll go through what we've got. First item up is the base of the base. Then it's going to come with a DisplayPort cable. That's going to get you the ultra high refresh rate. This is also a power cable for that. Let me make sure. Yep, this one has the vertical for the monitor. That's the stand. So it looks like 4 screws already. This is that bag of manual and the screwdriver I was telling you about. So we have everything we need. And that's kind of cool. If you ship this off to somebody, it comes with everything that they need to install it here. So it looks like there's 3 screws on the base, actually. 2 screws on the neck. And then it does have, in this case, a Visa mount standoff. The reason that you have these standoff is it helps get the Visa mount back if the area is recessed around there, which can be really nice, especially for clearance on plugs. I'm going to go ahead and open this up so you can see the monitor, what it looks like. Put my stuff away. Now, I recommend leaving it in this configuration right now. You can see the rear I/O. Now, interestingly enough, on the C27, the I/O faces back. I actually like this better, honestly. With the I/O facing down, I do so much, flipping around and swapping that I end up often having to plug in and unplug things. So I like to take and move this up a little bit, give myself just enough room so that I can install the stand like so. And then I can pull the top off of it when it's ready. So I'm just looking here, pulling this up. And that's the number one reason to keep it still inside the box like this as long as you can. I'm going to go ahead and start installing these pieces. Now, you can do it a couple different ways. Let me know if you guys have a Sceptre monitor in the chat. That'd be really cool to hear about. But you can definitely do this a couple different ways. I'm going to go ahead and start with the arm because I actually like doing it this way. It does have a plug, it looks like, to cover up your screw holes. So again, we're getting a brand new out of the box experience. Another thing that they're doing on the back of these 240s, this little red chevron, you can't see it yet, but this little red indicator in the corner, we'll play with that in a little bit. So now I can cover those up. Make sure you give them an extra turn or two. This is important. If you ever have problems with the monitor loosening up, just come back in here and give them a little turn or two on the base, and that will make it a lot tighter. Another interesting thing, so this has the power supply adapter external to the monitor. Some people are going to ask about that, why doesn't it use the standard plug? Well, one, it keeps the weight of the monitor down when you have the external AC/DC adapters, and the weight of the monitor being down makes the gas strut monitor arms a lot easier. These are only just a few pounds now, I believe 6 or 7. We'll take a look for it. But by being just 6 or 7 pounds, it makes it a whole lot easier to move around and lift. So I'm going to bring this around so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. And again, anybody can do this, including the screwdriver here. And you'll actually like this screwdriver for doing tech stuff later, because it's just the right size and you can put plenty of torque on it. So we're going to go ahead and put the other one in. Perfect. Hey, JG Wright is in the house. Good to see you. Welcome back to the show. I saw you the other day. And Coalition, given his thoughts, I really like Sceptre, he says. Yeah, they're an interesting brand. And you think about it, I was talking to him and I discussed for quite a while about where monitors come from, where the suppliers are, especially during COVID when we had such a shortage of finding just about anything. And it was interesting because Sceptre has been in the United States since the 1980s, making monitors for like mainframes. It felt like my first flat panel television was a Sceptre. So there we go. That stand is ready to go. That's basically all we need to start with. And I'm going to go ahead and take off this beauty cover here. So it has this to protect the screen from any sort of scratches or imperfections. I'll try to be as gentle with it as I can so I can send these back. Unfortunately, I have to send these back, believe it or not. I'm going to be kind of sad when they go home because it's fun playing with all these. I really do like getting to play with all the tech here on the show. Let's talk about curvature on this one. It is also a curved panel. We'll get the exact curve rating here. It's going to be on the box. Make sure I have the exact number on this one. So this is a 1500R curve as well. So that 1500R radius curve, you can see at 27, I really like to start having a curve in the monitors. At 32, it's almost a must. It's really nice. And on an ultra wide, I've used some of the flat ones out there. Not happy with it. So you go ahead and plug in this AC adapter into the back, and we'll make sure that we get this thing fired up. Let me know if you want to see PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, or anything else that you can come up with that I have on these monitors, and I will absolutely hook you up today. And you'll get to see it. I've got God of War. I'm so bad at that game. I hate to admit it. It's kind of fun, but to me, it's a button masher. You've got to be mashing all the buttons. So again, has the new tactile buttons on the bottom. They used to go on the back right side. So it is something that we're definitely trying out here. Power button lower right. Let me see if I can hit that. And as with all of them, they come up with their nice Sceptre logo. What's also interesting about this is also a 1080p monitor. So you're going, okay, now 27 times 2, that's about what, 54, 55 inch, right? So this would be the same as 4K on a 55-inch display. You're just getting a quarter of a 55-inch display for your desk. And this, for gaming, especially if high refresh rate is your goal, is an excellent value. Again, we were just talking about graphics cards. You go 4K on a 27 at 240, you'll never hit that with almost all modern stuff. I've got a great gaming machine back here. It never even touched that. I have Forza Horizon on it. Maybe we'll fire that up as well. Hey, Firestorm. He says, hi all. So you guys can say hi to him as well. And then somebody else in here, N2 Tech, says, can't do a curved monitor. It's just too distracting. It really is more of a gaming feature. One thing that it can be, especially if you're a competitive gamer, it can be a lot easier on the eyes for eye strain. I'm getting up there, and I've realized this now. But if your eyes have to look left and right and the distance is different, your eyes have, the muscles in your eyes have to focus the lens of your eye to, and you don't even notice this, to keep the items in focus. With a curved monitor, it does help to try to keep a little bit closer to a continuous radius on that. So just something to think about. These can have less eye strain. I do have some monitors with the eye care feature that are more for business coming up at the end of the show. So we'll talk about that. Let's get this Xbox fired up. Who wants to see Starfield? I am so bad at Starfield 2. I think I'm like a tiny bit of the way through Starfield. About 1%. We'll fire it up and we will see what it looks like. Okay, automatically we're back into Forza Horizon because yeehaw. Oh, the volume is much higher on this one, and the brightness out of the package, the brightness is great. I'm looking at this for the first time myself. Now the view angle for me still pretty good, but the colors are still best right on the front. So you can see the different view angle. I'm gonna go ahead and use the menu, and we're gonna go adjust. And again, love the new menu, Sceptre, by the way. It's almost like they were listening to me, because that's the one thing I kept dinging on when I was doing my independent shows and reviews. I was like, the menu system. It felt like 1980s as well, and now it is so much better. That's how quick you can do it. Now, I lowered on purpose the brightness. I could probably go even more just based on the cameras here. We're also going to have to lower the volume. So again, right to that volume key. Don't have to do much, just because I don't want it to interfere. So there you go. Now, man, that makes it look so small when I'm like right up on it with this. There we go. We can drive in the off-road, but I actually want to go to Starfield. So let's hope it doesn't have an update, everybody. This is John the Net Guy. If you're just tuning in, it is Black Friday. I'm showing you a bunch of different Sceptre monitors. This is their, yeah, of course it needs a 14 gig update. That's what it is. And just about everything else that I would run probably will need an update too. Another game that's great. Oh, are you kidding? Both of them need updates? Okay, we'll get that going, and I'll show you some of the features of the monitor while it's doing that. We got a fast internet connection here, so hopefully that won't take too long. 18 gigs, here we go. We're at 150 megabits. Let's go talk about the connectivity on the back of the monitor while we have a second here. So this is the C27. It's a 240 hertz, 1080p ultra high-speed monitor. I shouldn't say ultra-wide. I almost said that. So a 27-inch, 240 hertz gaming panel. It's curved with a 1500R curve. It's available right now for $60 off normal retail price. It's $170. Now, maybe you don't buy this for yourself. Maybe you just send the link to a loved one that might be purchasing for you, and you can always refer them to that and say, hey, this is something I really want. It does have the RGB ring around it, which is configurable in the on-screen display usually. So back on the back here again, HDMI 1, which is an HDMI 2.0 standard port, HDMI 2. You're going to have your DisplayPort 1.4 ports here as well. To get the highest refresh rate, you always have to use a DisplayPort though. So you're kind of limited there, which is okay. Use the other ones for your gaming consoles or a laptop. I do that myself. And somebody says, VA though, I love IPS. I'm looking to upgrade from an LG. You know, I understand that absolutely. Firestorm's coming back saying Xbox can do 120, change in the setting. Let's go ahead and show where that is as well while we're downloading. It's a great answer for you. So we're doing a couple things at once. I'm going to go ahead and go here on my Xbox. I'm going to go to my settings. So bump it over to the right, go down to settings. Now, this is where you're going to go to your TV and display options. I'm going to get a little bit less glare. Now, most of these have a matte finish, but you can see I'm at 1080p, 120 hertz. Now, you can actually go into the different video modes and what it allows. So it allows 422 encoding. Variable refresh says always on. So it looks like it does have the variable refresh working correctly. So very interesting. If I come down here on the monitor too, one of the nice things about the new OSD that they have, when you go to the menu, it's going to 1080p, 120 hertz. It's saying AMD off. Let's see if we have to turn on any of the features in there. So FreeSync is off technically. So let's go turn that on. So what FreeSync is going to do is it's going to stop screen tearing. And you'll notice this if you have a high refresh. Okay, there we go. AMD is on now. So if you have a high refresh rate monitor and you're playing games and you start to see like lines going across them, that can be one, off-putting when you're trying to play a game. I've seen it in flight simulators or stuff where you're moving around a lot. Sometimes first-person shooters, because they're not moving unless you're twisting, I guess, you don't see it as much. But by doing FreeSync, what's going to happen is it's going to calibrate the display refresh rate to the video card refresh rate. And it's going to communicate and interrogate. Now, FreeSync versus G-Sync versus FreeSync Premium, we could spend a whole long time talking about that. In most cases, I'll tell you, the monitors will work with G-Sync on the NVIDIA side. They won't show the sticker because I believe there's a licensing cost to the G-Sync standard, so we don't see that very often. So it's just going to download and do that update. I'm going to go ahead and hit up Amazon, and we're going to take a look real quick because I want to show Rocket League. It's just a fun game. It's an esports title. I'll get that one going while we go check on Amazon. So just going back over here. If you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. We're doing a Black Friday special show for the Sceptre Monitor Company. We're taking a look at 6 different monitors today, all amazing values. This one is 23% off right now. This is the curved 27-inch. That's the model number up there. Make sure you're checking the model numbers very carefully because Sceptre has a lot of these. They make essentially a model per year, roughly, of each different style. So you might be getting a different model, so you want to double check that. This is a 2023 model, so one of the newer ones. There's nothing wrong, by the way. Their C200 ultra wide, that one is still an amazing 200 hertz monitor even today. So there's nothing wrong if you're picking up even a year or two older model and getting a great deal on it. 240 hertz refresh rate. There's a 1 millisecond response time. So that's how you get to the 240, is you're going to need that as well. We're going to come down here. Like I said, I love the graphic artist that does all their stuff. I do need to talk about color gamut. I don't have my Spider Pro hooked up right now. Honestly, my buddy borrowed my Elite that does the actual scanning, and I can come back and I'll do that in my full review videos showing you what the actual color is. I can tell you Sceptre's never been wrong. So if they say that they've got 99% of sRGB, they do. Now the DCI P3 and all those other ones, unless it's a creator's IPS display and they're advertising it as that, most monitors won't go higher in the color gamut. But again, the purpose of this one and the reason it's set just like this is it's for fast refresh rate gaming, so 240 hertz, and great color, which it has, a decent view angle, especially for a curved larger monitor. And it's still gonna, go ahead and have tons of input for every device that you've got in your house here that would be around the monitor. So your gaming consoles, laptop, and a full desktop PC. So it's not necessarily designed for a creator display, but there are some that they have and that I own that are better for creators as well. And Firestorm says, good price that. Yes, it is. So this was $169. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to skip over to the next one. I'll let this update. Actually, you know what? Let's just move the cable back to my PlayStation and let's play God of War on this one. I want to play something. I'm just going to show you that this monitor is super flexible. Now, mind you, I got a 12-foot HDMI cable here because I got to be able to move it around. I'm going to come over to my PlayStation back here. I'm going to unplug the HDMI that I had on it, and I'm going to plug it into the monitor. And hopefully my controller has enough juice in it. I've just started up the PlayStation, and you should see my God of War session if everything works. Most of these monitors, and I didn't check on this, do conform to the CEC standard. So they will automatically turn on and turn off with your device. I didn't look on these ones if they have the HDMI CEC, but that's something else that is important. Okay. Firing the monitor up, making sure I got the input in the right port. There we go. There is my controller. I'm going to see if I do this right. There we go. Adjust display area. The circles should fill the screen without showing black borders. Perfect. And you can go smaller or you can go larger. So it's just doing the display calibration because it saw the new display. One thing I'm going to show you on the 34-inch ultra wide that's coming up, PlayStation does not like ultra wide resolutions, nor does Xbox. But this is my PlayStation. I'm going to try to hope that we're in a good area of God of War, which I think we are. Okay, so you can see around here this nice open field that I'm looking at. It's pretty slick. I'm going to bring you guys in closer on this one. We're just hanging out, playing some games here. This is God of War on the curved 27. I love this angle because I can see it better when I'm playing with you guys. So here we go. So this one says do something with these spears here. So pull that, and I'm going to pull towards me. This game is so immersive. It is crazy. So I do have speakers on here. I did turn them down. Nice job getting it exactly where we needed. Okay. So now what are we going to do? Looks like we're going to climb down here. Okay. Knock that down. Let's do a little bit of climbing action. Or jumping. Now, I don't know what we're going to do with that. But again, we're looking at the clarity of this display on here. This is the 27-inch. I am pretty close, and I have to get a lot closer if I want to see pixels. I don't know about you guys. We can bring this GoPro close. Again, you're not going to see pixels on that full HD set that close unless you're sitting like 4 inches away from it. So I'm going to get out of this game real quick. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and pause that, and we're going to get the next monitor out because I just want to show you again the versatility of what we have and what we're offering today. This is a show for Sceptre monitors. We just assembled completely this 27-inch 240 hertz race car of a monitor. I'm going to set it down over here without hurting any of the other ones I have, and I'm going to grab the next one, which is even bigger. This is about as big as I functionally want to go. But you know what? This is the monitor that I think I'm going to take to PDX LAN next year. So I'm going to be in the Portland area. If you guys are in the Pacific Northwest, I'm going to go to a 700-person LAN party, and 32 inches in those seem to be about the resolution and the screen size that everybody's going with. The 32-inch, this is full HD also. So now you guys are going, okay, this is getting really big. Now you're going to see 5 more inches of diagonal screen space. So this is huge. You know, this is back here is a 55. You can see how much this looks like perspective wise to this monitor. This is enormous. This fills an entire desk. Does have a lot of cool features. Let's start at the back real quick because I'm about to hook that up. Okay, so it's got that cool chevron in the corner. That's what I'm calling it. So that's that little corner icon that they're doing on this series. It also has a real light black on black 240 hertz. So people are going to know what you're running here. Rear IO, same kind of situation here. HDMI 1, HDMI 2 are both 2.0 ports. DisplayPort 1, DisplayPort 2, both DisplayPort 1.4 ports. Audio output, guess what? Visa mounting capability right there. It's on the low side of it, which is, I really actually like it to be mounted lower like that, because that means when you put it on a monitor arm, you can get it even higher. So this would be a great monitor for a monitor arm. At that gaming expo that I was at, I saw a lot of people with 32s with another, like a 15-inch portable. I've got a couple of those coming later today. But I had a 15-inch portable lower, and they had the monitor raised up a little bit. And that was an excellent layout because you could play and game on the 32, this massive set, but you were still going to be able to see your Discord chat and everything else down below. So I'm going to see if I can pull up my desktop computer from back here on the extended HDMI cable. And I just want to bring another game in to perspective here. We'll do the Forza Horizon benchmark if everything works out. Or actually, yeah, Forza Horizon benchmark, and then we're going to do Fortnite on the next one. If you've got a game that you really want to see on one of these monitors, let me know. I probably have it. Unless it's Baldur's Gate, then I don't. That's the one game I have not purchased yet. I'm a little behind. Oh yeah, they put the HDMI upside down on that one. Okay, let's try that. I'm going to go ahead and advance the sign up here. We're going to do a couple different things at once. This is the C325B FWT 240. So 240 hertz, full HD, 4 inputs. It also has an AC adapter. I'll tell you one funny story. I actually use a Sceptre monitor as a television on my boat. This is something interesting if you're doing the van life, if you're in a trailer, RV, camping. These double. You throw a Fire Stick on one of these, and these also double as a TV for you. So great for a kid's room if you've got one of those. But I actually use it, and the 12 volts, I go directly in with a 3.2 or with a 2.1 millimeter 12 volt jack. I go directly into my boat's electrical system. It's pretty stable, and it also allows me not to have an adapter, and I can run without an inverter. So that's another really cool advantage here. I'm going to switch this over so you guys can see the stats on this one. 32-inch curved. It's another VA panel, and this one has 320 nits, or sorry, 300 nits of brightness. I'm skipping ahead. So 300 nits dead on this 32-inch. Now the price on this is insane. It is literally $199. So you're getting a 32-inch monitor for $199. You're getting a 240 hertz 32-inch for $199. And it's going to have all of those inputs. And guess what? It's also curved. So you're getting like the top trifecta of three things. The only thing that might be different is if it was an IPS, but they even have some of those as well. They're just a different price point. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look at the Amazon site for this one, just so you guys can see some of the specs and the reviews on it. And then we will get into some gaming with some PC gaming and what it looks like. So this is their Black Friday special, $199, 20% off on this one. A gorgeous display. This is the equivalent, again, if we thought about it, of a 64-inch monitor in 4K. You're getting a quarter of that monitor on your desk. So still very good resolution. It has an 1800R curve, which I'm going to show you in just a second. It is Visa mountable. It does have that great color gamut. That's another interesting thing here. So this one's going to have all of that 99% of the sRGB. So the difference is if you buy a cheaper monitor, I'll tell you, I was into buying really, really cheap monitors for a while. And what I found out was they just don't look right, especially cheap laptop displays that are 200 nits of brightness, and they only do like 75% of sRGB or 72% of NTSC. They just look bland. They don't have the rich, deep color. So this one's going to have that rich, deep color. Looks like I can do a 360 of it too. Hey, I got the real thing here. I don't have to do that, but good on you, Amazon. So I'm going to bring you guys back over here. Once we talk about, the ratings. So again, they're mixing the ratings on these because they're 4 different models that are within the same product family, but it's 4.5 stars. Again, very good ratings here, and it's on a Black Friday special. So I don't think I missed anything on there. Let me know if there's anything specific you want to see. I am going to make sure I update the Amazon chat here. Welcome everybody checking in from Amazon. Thanks everyone. Please say hi. I see we got several clicks on the products here. And I'm going to hit go there. So that sends out. Excellent. Now we're going to go ahead and see if I've got my desktop set up right. Now, I game with a wired keyboard. There we go. Okay, good. I got my gaming system up here so we can see it. Well, this is going to be important later on. But because I game with a wired keyboard, I just wanted to show you here. I got my Xbox controller in the way. I've got my PS5. I got my wired keyboard now, and I've got my wireless mouse. So hopefully this will all work. One quick thing on PC, if it's your first time setting a monitor up like this, don't make the mistake I've seen some people make, which is you get the monitor home, you get excited, you plug it all in, you get either the HDMI or the display port plugged in. It needs display port. Do one settings here, go quick into the display settings real fast, go down to advanced display settings. Now here, it automatically did it again. So on this one, if you'll notice, I went to that advanced display settings. Take a look at that. So it was only going to be at 59 hertz. So, it was not going to be, it was going to be at 60 hertz. And it can go all the way up to 240. Now, this is saying it can do 240 on the HDMI, which I didn't know. I don't think that was documented, but hey, guess what? It did it. So now we're running at 240. So what's the difference on 240? Well, as I move this around, you can actually see there's some trails, and there's going to be because my camera is only 30 hertz or 60 hertz. There will be some trails, but in this case, my games are going to be ultra smooth. And in person, it is definitely smoother on the monitor. I can see it a lot. Like it doesn't jitter like it's doing that for you, that stutter, but that's my camera frame rate. This is very smooth at 240 hertz. Now I'm going to see if I can get Shadow of the Tomb Raider to launch because I've been playing that game. I played it the other night. I rarely get time to play, but let's do it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. You know what? I'm actually going to run the benchmark just because I know that the benchmark isn't going to get me in trouble with the sensors. So if you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. We are doing a Sceptre monitor and display demo here. I'm just double checking all of the settings here. This one has a different set of buttons on the back, and it's a vertical orientation. I should talk about the OSD. I'm loving this new OSD, by the way. As I mentioned, 1080p, 240 hertz. This one, now we're on PC, we're unlocked. Now, technically, you can turn FreeSync on, but there's some other stuff. Again, play with the settings until you get it exactly the way you want. I'm not going to turn the FreeSync on because I want it to go as fast as it can in this benchmark. And this is at 1080, so I'm just pointing that out. I'm going to put the menu out of the way so we don't have that up. And then I'm going to say run benchmark. And we're going to get to see this thing run. It's going to take a few seconds. I'm going to bring you guys out for a second here. Firestorm wants the UFO test. Yes, I'm on a PC. I can finally do that. Thank you for reminding me, Firestorm. And the UFO test, what is that? Well, the UFO test is something that they came up with. It's a web-based item that will test the refresh rate at different ranges and the screen tearing or drag or ghosting that you get on there. Now, I'm hearing the speakers on this already, but man, look at that display. That display is so big. I'm getting a little bit of glare because I got huge studio lights here, and I have this thing turned down just so it comes up on the cameras in the studio. But we're hitting 130, 140. So again, even my machine, I haven't done any tuning. I haven't done any overclocking. It's got a 6800 in that box back there, a Sapphire. That's a 20 gig card. So, it's got plenty of oomph, but you can see how hard it is to go any higher than that. Now, I'd probably hit in Fortnite easily 240. So that would be something really common to see. But we're just doing the quick benchmark test here just so you can see the colors on this. Now, stand on this one, like we said, is just tilt only. So it does have that twist. It doesn't have that either. It doesn't have height adjustment. But at this price point, $199, throw in 10% of your budget towards a monitor arm, maybe 15%. I just got a double stack monitor arm that I'm going to try out later. And so that was in my Amazon cart today. But get yourself a great gas strap monitor arm. This thing is not that heavy for the size. I'd have to go look at the exact weight specs on Amazon just so that I could tell you what that was. Make sure I didn't kick that out of there. It's switching scenes, I believe. Yep, there we go. We're in the outdoor scene. This is where you're going to hit your max rate. So I'm up there about 180. This is higher than 165 hertz, obviously. So we're going above and beyond here. This is a 240 hertz monitor. And you can see, even with a pretty stout gaming machine, it's really hard to do that. Response time question. Let's see. Has it got a response time setting? That's a great question. I don't know. It has overdrive. Let's take a look at the OSD. Good question here, by the way. Let me bring this guy close so you can see it. Again, you're not seeing pixels here, are you? And that's funny because that camera is way up on there. But let's go ahead and go through the menu system. So you've got the different picture settings here. So we go down to picture. We've got backlight, preset, aspect ratio. Let's go down in here, make sure it's not under picture. Sharpness and blur reduction. Okay, so that's a technology. Let's go down here. Response time should be 1 millisecond on this, if I remember right. But let's go down and take a look. Oh, see, I got to hit the right buttons here. Got to get the fingers to match. Okay, overdrive is set to medium on this one, and we can set it even higher. So if we did notice any blur when we get into the UFO test, we can set it higher. Then you get things called inverse ghosting, where it's actually trying too hard to stop it from ghosting. So no response time settings other than the overdrive settings here, which I guess is what you were looking for anyway. So let's go down here, make sure there's nothing else below that. OSD timers and a mute capability. So nothing in there that we want. But again, let's see what I did. My system averaged 126 FPS across the board. So not so bad. Most of the time, let's see, was it CPU bound? GPU bound? 0. I don't know why I wasn't GPU bound. I thought I would be in this case. So I guess my GPU had a little bit more. I have an Intel 12700K on this one. So that's what we were running. Taking a look here. Yep, overdrive, my bad, is what Firestorm was saying. No. Again, that's just different names for the same thing, really. So let's do this. Let's do Chrome. And then let's do UFO test. And I've been on touchscreen so much today. So this is the UFO test. Now, this is a really bad test to do, I'll just say, over a GoPro. This is my side GoPro that's doing it. Now we can run the test. You can see the 240 is right up there at the top. You actually have to have a very high speed camera to catch this, and some YouTubers do. I can do it with an iPhone, I found, and it will actually do this. There is some ghosting, especially in the white here. No, the lighter color, the yellow. So let's go ahead and talk about how we can make the appearance of that ghosting go down by going down through the OSD here. So menu, down, overdrive. I can go to low, off, or high. So I'm going to say high overdrive. So that crank this up, and you know what? It's a little bit better. Okay, yeah, I can see that. And a lot of times what they'll end up doing is they'll actually do black frame insertion and other tricks to get this thing down. So let's see if I exit completely out of the UI. Yeah, it's a little better. It's still there. My favorite thing to do to reduce ghosting, especially above 200, and again, I know this is probably really hard to actually see that here because you just see 30 frames and a lot of stutter. But another thing that you can do to really improve that is go into your settings and turn your monitor down to 165. So you'll be at 165, which is still an excellent, or to 200 hertz refresh rate. And you'll usually in those cases have a lot better experience. I'm going to go in here to overdrive. I'm going to turn it off completely. So we're not overdriving the pixels. And you know what? I would have to look at it to see if it's worse or not. It's very hard. Again, there's a tiny little bit. Being Tomb Raider. It looks like I ran at 1080, it being Tomb Raider. Yep. So that was my benchmark. And again, I do have higher refresh rate not higher refresh. I don't. I do have higher resolution monitors I run. Let's talk about display settings. And let's talk what we talked about earlier. Now it's really going to mess with this thing. Let me see if I can get my mouse to where I can see it. Okay. Let's talk about going to advanced display settings, and let's change that refresh rate down to 165, which is the next stop on the bus. Now this is going to recalibrate and come back down, and it's going to say it's working. I need to be able to click that though. Changes. Okay. 10-bit color in this case on this at 165. I don't think it was before, so there's definitely a bandwidth limit. And let me refresh the browser. You know what? That's better. And then I bet you if I turn on, and it depends on the game, really. It depends on the high contrast rate of the games. Let me see if I can actually do this today. Oh, you know what I'm not doing? I didn't hit it twice. I got to get it in the menu and then hit down. I was jumping one step ahead. So I'm going to do back to medium on here. There we go. So any other things we want to see? Looking good. I'll probably not run Forza Horizon on this one unless you guys really want me to. Maybe we'll save that for one of the later games here. But again, this is a 240 hertz, 32-inch enormous monitor for under $200. I love that price point from the Sceptre company. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this. We're going to switch gears here, and we're going to go to a monitor that has actually been in our background the whole time. I'm going to need to try not to trip and drop one of these. I do have to send them back, and if I break one, I'm sure I'm going to be on the hook for it. So let me go ahead and put this down. I'm going to go keep them together with their power cords. So I'm going to put this 32 on the ground, and we're going to grab the next monitor up, which people that have been wanting higher resolution, this is your bag here. This is exactly why I pulled this one out. This is the C34 ultra wide, and it's actually one of the monitors I've been using for almost a month. And when I say I've been using it for almost a month, if it has some fingerprints on it, that's why. Because I honestly was just prepping like a madman for the show this morning. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the DisplayPort connector here from the other one. And I need to unplug the power and HDMI. Okay. I'm going to bring this guy over. This is Sceptre's C34. When I got this thing out, Nerd on a Budget was stopping by, and I was like, dude, you got to see this thing. 34-inch curved ultra wide. What does that curve look like? Well, let me bring it back up again. On the top down. If you've never had an ultra wide before, I would pick one up. It's an experience. Now, this one has all of the resolution that you guys were craving. So this is the 34-inch curved now. So you guys can see it there. I don't know the exact spec we'll look on the curvature, but it's definitely nice. I think it's 1500 if I was to guess just offhand. Very nice curve. It is Visa mountable, and I had it mounted on a monitor arm. It does have the single side right now. So if you want to adapt it, you have this star adapter. Again, let me pull it out so you guys can see it. This one I've been using for about a month, and I love it. There is some cool stuff you can absolutely do. So there it is. Don't lose this piece, because this is what's going to give you that Visa mounting capability. It replaces the stand. Stand is only going to have tilt adjustment on this one, but again, we're going for a price point here. We're not going for something that you could get yourself, or you may be putting it on a monitor arm anyway. So if they put a ton of extra money in a stand, it's not going to help. IO is facing downward on this one. I don't like that as much, like I said, but they keep the thinness of this monitor at the edges is incredibly skinny. I'm going to go ahead and get the adapter out for you guys. So it does, again, use an AC adapter that's external to the monitor. I love this because I've had these bricks, not from Sceptre, but from other vendors, go bad. And as long as it's not part of the monitor, you can replace it and keep trucking. And so this is the consumable part here over time. And you can switch it to a new one there. I'm going to go ahead and find the DC jack. It does use a special DC connector on here. It's 3 amps at 12 volts, if I remember right. Oh, this one is actually, no, this uses a higher one. This uses 19 volts. Sorry, I didn't want to say that. The other one was 3 amps at 12 volts. This is 65 watts that it's using. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to borrow that HDMI cable again from the gaming PC. We're going to use a PC on this only because I want to take advantage of the ultra wide feature. And then we're going to switch back over to the PlayStation. And I'm going to show you why that's so important to have this ultra wide resolution. Okay, we're plugged back in. Hopefully my computer decides to recognize that I have switched monitors. About 3 times on it already this morning. This one has this really cool joystick in the middle. So like I mentioned, they really are improving their on-screen display, improving their usability on all of these. They have been listening to us when we were talking about it in reviews, I'm guessing. Okay, now what's interesting about this is I get speakers right away. So I'm going to use this button in the center. Now you'll see that it has this really mini menu come up. I gotta hit back. I'm gonna hit up. I gotta hit up. It's a joystick based menu. So now I'm turning it down with this joystick. So when you hit it the first time, it's kind of cool. So you can say, bump upward. It brings this little star menu up, a quick menu. So it's got extra features, inputs, sound, or you can hit into the menu and you get that really cool menu we were talking about. Let's see what we're at on resolution and settings here. So right out of the bat, 3440 by 1440. So 1440p ultra wide resolution, 60 hertz. Let's fix that. So 60 hertz is what the monitor starts with. And some of these, one thing you should always check, like I was just mentioning, is display settings. Go advanced display. If I can click, where's my mouse? Oh, it's tiny. There we go. I'm advanced display settings. It's at 60 hertz. Now this one on the HDMI is only going to go to 100. So some of these are limited on the HDMI 1.4 ports. That's what I'm guessing. Okay, it's going to keep the changes here. Now I'm at my 100 hertz ultra wide. It will go up to, I believe, 165 on this monitor. This one is another incredible value today. 34-inch ultra wide, $239. It's $60 off. Normally a $300 monitor. Same great color in here. If I go to display and graphics, I would actually need to change the graphics settings now. And most people, even on the ultra wides, can't really drive them at the highest resolution. So there's the highest resolution. I'm going to apply the changes. And then I'm just going to let it run for a little bit. Maybe we don't run the whole thing. Maybe I hit the Amazon page while it's running, save time. And then you can see the difference, because I think we were 126 average when we were at the other resolution. You'll see the difference that an ultra wide resolution makes that it's going to have to render at. So that can be an interesting thing. Jonathan, welcome, Jonathan Tolbert. I only game at 1080p. Can I do 1080p 144? Absolutely. So this one's already hitting that 126, 128. You'll notice something right away. We got about 4 inches of extra monitor on each side compared to the last demo. So field of view, that's what this whole ultra wide gaming is all about. I love it in Fortnite. Fortnite is one of my favorite products to check out when you have an ultra wide like this. So that's one of the things we'll demo next. So I'm just doing that benchmark real quick. I do want to show you the unboxing of this. I also want to show you the Amazon page. We'll get to that here in just a second. But you can see very smooth still, great color on this one. The curvature is another unique thing. We were just talking about that. The distance from my camera to the sides of the monitor is almost equidistant as you look left to right. So less eye strain if you're gaming a ton. Now we're dropping into 115 frames. So my graphics cards, maybe not keeping up. We'll see. But that's how hard it is to even hit some of those 240s. So you've got, CSGO is known notoriously for super high frame rates. Some configurations of Modern Warfare, and we're at a pretty high display intensity. We could turn that down if we wanted to. A lot of the Fortnite players will do that as well. So let's go ahead and hit over to the Amazon page because I just want to see, again, the ultra wide here. So if you see that ticker that's going across the bottom, I'm going to keep this testing here, but then I'm going to talk to you guys about this. We're going to look at Amazon. Let's go over to the 34-inch. Now, this is a VA panel. You're not getting IPS for this. It does have 1 millisecond of the usually MPRT variety. And we'll go ahead. It's calling it frameless and less than a centimeter of frame around the top and the side. The bottom's going to have a little bit more, so really close to that. It's a 1500R curve, so a little bit less than the 30. The 30 was 1800, which is actually bigger number, smaller curvature. And when you get to the wider monitors, it's really hard to have 1000R or something like that because that's really aggressive. So this one is 1500R, so it continues the curvature of the first couple monitors. Now we're down in the 80s. You can see how hard it is for this graphics card, which, again, I don't hear it ramping up back there, but my gaming machine is rendering this out about 80, and it's at very high quality here. So still running our benchmark over here. Let's take a look. That's the dimensions that you're looking at. So about 18 inches high with the stand. Another one where I would highly recommend a gas strut monitor arm. That can be really helpful. The weight on this one, I did not see. So we'll take a look. Most of these, when you get into the 34, you're right at the edge. So it says the item weight is 15 pounds. Take a look at your monitor arms because that's about the high end of most monitor arms is about that 15 pounds. The benchmark is done. Let's come back and see what we got. So we've been benchmarking Shadow of the Tomb Raider here. I'm going to bring you guys up. 114. So I went to ultra wide and I lost 10 frames per second. So that's telling me, again, GPU bound in this case was 42%. So we finally are starting to use our GPU. We can go through, the graphics quality is set to high. We could actually lower that down. We could change some of the anti-aliasing. We could get up to the higher ones. Some of these strategy games, I'm not really big into, massive 240. But, we're definitely over 100 hertz. We're definitely into that. I need a high refresh, so 144 or a 165. So that's what we're seeing here. This is the 34-inch ultra wide from Sceptre. It is the curved panel. Fantastic value today. I saw some people that were posting sales that were going on. There was another brand and they had their ultra wide monitor that was on sale and it was like $20 more. I said, why would you want that one? That was $20 more. And I think it was 144 or something. It was actually less of a value and I got posted to one of those big deal sites. And so I was like, man, I'm going to be showing a better value later today. So this is one of my favorites. Let me show you something that you can do with an ultra wide monitor. So, a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to go with 227s. Okay. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Word and I'm going to go on this side. And then I'm going to bring up my gaming program on this side. I can split screen. And unfortunately, I need to go to dark mode. Turn dark mode for apps. I'll go ahead and set dark mode on 1 second, just so I don't blow out my cameras here because it doesn't like that. Okay, I got Word on one side and I've got my game on the other side. So you're essentially splitting the baby here. You've got two monitors in one. And if you had a browser up, let's just bring up Chrome, and then let's bring up amazon.com/shop/the net guy. Let's see ourselves. So maybe you wanted to watch this in this side while you're doing that term paper. There we go. And yeah, you can see all the things we're shopping for here. We're going to the Black Friday deals on this side of the monitor while we're finishing our term paper on this side of the monitor. So very cool. The other neat thing about this is if you don't like the split, change it. So now you've got a real skinny vertical resolution there. You can slide it back and forth. And Windows 10 adjusts on this. So 10 and 11, sorry. I'm running 11 on this box. So that's a cool trick. If you don't have that, get an ultra wide. Windows key left, Windows key right. That will set the two windows that you want on the left and right side of the screen, and you can basically make one monitor into two. Now, I didn't look in this one and see if it has the picture by picture. I honestly never use that feature on monitors, but if it is important to you, let me take a look here. So I'm going to go into the menu system. I'm going to go into system and just double check and see if it has picture by picture. I didn't see that automatically, but you never know. Some of them do. Not in this one, it doesn't look like. I'm going to go up to the quick start as well. So this does have the blue light shift. A lot of them have that blue light shift. It does have FreeSync capability. I have the backlight turned way down, and you can see already it's at 40% backlight, and it's already blowing out. So this one, let's talk about the stats on this. This is 400 nits of brightness. You guys that were complaining about brightness in the back of your head and saying, oh, well, 300 nits not enough. This is 400. So we definitely have more brightness here. Has the high resolution, has 165 hertz. The color is accurate enough on this one that I could use it to edit video, and I have used it to edit video. Some video editing programs, the timeline being horizontal is amazing. It does so much for your timeline if you're a creator to do that. And like I said, you can squeak it out here and have two monitors in one like I'm doing right now. Let's see. I have a 34-inch ultrawide. I like it so much. I want to upgrade. It's $1. There you go. Okay, so we got Adam Williams checking in. I have a 34-inch ultrawide. I like it so much. I want to upgrade to the 38-inch ultrawide. It's taller. 1600. Yeah, that GPU is going to be hurting. So I will show you just briefly the unbox of this 34. So again, Sceptre does a great job of unboxing or making the unboxing of their products very easy. Keep the box. This is an enormous box, one of their bigger ones because of just the curvature and the size, but it's still very easy to put together here. All your items are in there. The stand, again, two-piece. You've seen this story before already on the show. The stand is in two pieces. Use that special Sceptre red screwdriver, their token screwdriver. And if you are having any sort of looseness in the stand, come back here and tighten those bolts on the bottom. That's what gets everybody all the time. It does have that external power supply capability, which I mentioned, and it's very nice to have. While we're doing this, I'm also going to launch another game just so we're ready. There we go. And so that handsome devil there is showing you how to get everything set up. And oh, he's got a video game in here. I'm going to show you two things with this ultrawide before we move on to our last two monitors, just so you can tell the difference here. I am loading up Fortnite right now. And the reason that I wanted to bring that up was because of the awesomeness that is the ultra wide resolution. So you saw that image started out with missing the sides. The game developers developed it in a lower view angle, lower field of view, and then it just popped out when they realized what we have. Let me double check that the on-screen resolution, it looks stretched. Let's go ahead and you got to go into your settings here and make sure that you're running the 1440. Okay, so we're looking good. Graphics quality set to epic. I could actually go to high. That's what most of the gamers do. And let's see if I have the, high, far, show FPS on. Okay, we're good there. I need to go back. And you know what I need to do? I wanted to double check. So private game, I'm going to do tilted. Yes, that is my handle there. If you want to play the Xbox, it is play the net guy. I have another account on Xbox. If you guys are actually watching these. So it's firing up. It's waiting for matchmaking. We'll let that go here. But what I love about these ultra wides is the extra screen real estate you get, especially on third-person shooters like Fortnite or one of them that I've just started playing back again, Fallout 4. So again, when you're in a game like this, and I'm going to go ahead and get into a building situation so you can see what it looks like. I'm pulling 203 FPS already, 208, 214 at the high. So now I am using all of the 165 that this thing has to offer. But what I love about this is when you get on third person view, not only are you seeing, let's see if I go over here to another corner. I'm just trying to look over the corner here. I can walk over here. This extra 4 inches that's on this side, if we go back to the 1080, it's only going to be that field of view. You're not going to get to see as wide on this game as this is. I think it's cheating, but you know what? Whatever I can do to get a leg up in Fortnite, I will take. My daughter destroys me on this game. Just FYI, don't ever play her. But yeah, so there you go. So that's Fortnite on this display. I do want to show you one last thing, and I'm going to take us back, all the way back to the PS5. And the reason I'm doing that is because if you get this ultra-wide monitor, just a cautionary tale, it will work with your PlayStation. It will work with your Xboxes. It has plenty of inputs, so that's not the problem. But one thing you got to be real careful of on these is the screen's stretched. So when I get back into my game, my character has gained like 30 pounds. So he's really wide. You notice that? And so everything's a little bit off. And the way we fix that, you go in the menu here, go down to aspect ratio. And now what's cool about this is I don't have to use the different buttons. I can just use the joystick. Another great thing about having that. I'm on full aspect. If I go to 16:9, again, that's the difference of how much more you're getting if you're playing on a PC game and you're using ultra wide resolution. See how it's stretching the image? That's the extra image that you would have normally gotten when you're playing on PC. I'm on a PS5 right now. That's why we're having to set this. So either set it to 16:9, or worse yet, go to dot by dot. Now that is exactly pixel to pixel what's coming out of the PS5. If you go to 16:9, the monitor's stretching it out to fill the screen vertically for you, but it is going to be 120 hertz. So if you want to grab one of the 16:9 monitors I showed earlier, you're going to get a better experience if you're playing PS5 or Xbox a lot. I don't know if any of these games, I think there's a couple that maybe do 21:9, but very few, if that, on these devices. So that's just one cautionary tale I wanted to do. That is the bulk of our main gaming monitors. Now, I've got two more that I'm going to show you just because if either you need to save a little bit more money on your monitor, or if you're buying it for a business, or if gaming just is not a big destination for you. I'm going to put this back over here because I'm going to game with it later. I'm going to play a little bit of Fallout. And if you tune in later today, I am doing a second Black Friday show with different parts and whatnot, not sponsored by Sceptre as well. So let me go ahead and pull up the Amazon chat. And we're going to pick the next monitor on here. And that is an excellent value monitor here. So less than $100, less than $90. They've come up with an excellent price here on this. And I'm going to make sure I grab the right box because I don't want to show you the wrong monitor. And that is this 24-inch. They're calling it a gaming monitor, but it is an incredible value. So if you don't need 240 hertz, you don't need 165 hertz. You saw how my machine, even a decent gaming machine with a 12700 at ultra settings or super high settings, doesn't do it. This is a 100 hertz gaming monitor from the Sceptre company. We're going to do a quick unbox here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have... Let me go ahead and get the backdrop set up. If I get the right one. There we go. I don't have the screen set up for this one, but I'm going to go ahead and do the unbox for you right now. And then we're going to go ahead and play around with this. Hey, look at this. Jonathan Tolbert says, I learned of you by Nerd on a Budget. Thank you, Danny, Nerd on a Budget, for that referral. I'm glad I did. Good information. Well, yeah, I appreciate it. I've been around here the whole time. It's really hard to get noticed on YouTube. You know, Sceptre has been a huge sponsor of the channel even, and then they allow me to do events like this. So that was really cool. I'm going to pull this out of the way. I'm going to go to the top down, And I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So there's the monitor right here. Sceptre 1080p. So we're back to the 1080p. This is a flat monitor, 100% of sRGB, 100 hertz. So 100 to 100. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now it's saying that the front of the monitor is that way, which hopefully means that goes downward as we take this out of the box. So far, we've had really good luck all day. You know what? I didn't. There we go. Cut the tape where I needed to. Okay, and I'm going to back up just a little bit on the camera. Try to get as much of this as we can in here. And I'm going to slide this one out. Same situation with all the Scepters. All of your accessories and everything are stored right on the top. Easy to get to. I have a feeling we need to go back and play a little bit of Rocket League on this one on the Xbox, because that's the one we didn't play. Okay, so Sceptre manual there. We have a base. You know what's funny about this? I think we're going to get to the first one that doesn't come with a screwdriver. That's just my luck. So looks like this is a screwless base that's going to go on here and twist to lock. Let's see. Did I do this right? Twist to lock. There we go. So the base is ready. It's going to have, looks like a regular HDMI cable. I'm not going to take that out because this has to go back to a Sceptre. It is going to have a regular AC power brick. It is 12 volts, 2.5 amps. So there you go. And that is everything in here. It is Visa mountable for those that are interested. I think that this for $90, if you bought this as a business, what a great value for 100 hertz. So you get a little bit better refresh rate out of it. High refresh rate is not only for gaming. I think it reduces eye strain for office apps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this over the edge. I'm going to slide this up. There we go. We're locked in. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull the monitor out. There we go. So this is their 24. It's marked in the carousel if you're following on Amazon. Thank you, One, for joining on Amazon. I'm going to bring you guys around to the front here so you can see the front of this display. So basically, oh my gosh, this thing is light. That's really good for business, though, because in a monitor arm, a Visa mounting, anything, that is really nice. It does have the joystick control. Let's see if they put the new OSD version on this. I would love that. And we're going to go ahead and open that one. So this is their kind of their compromise. It's got all the business features that you would want, you know, standard inputs. Let's go ahead and talk about the back inputs. Now the gaming ones had 4 inputs. Let's see how many this has got. I think we're going to get reduced. Yep, we've only got 3 inputs. We got 1 display port. There you go. 2 HDMI 2.0s, audio output DC in. So pretty straightforward. No RGB on the back. They're saving a little bit on this one. Again, putting it more into the panel and the lower price. It has that lock-in. It does not have twist. It does have tilt. That's only the adjustability that this has. But you can see here, got the Visa 75, it looks like, mounting standard. So, and a very easy to move monitor. I actually do like this base style, even though this is so light. It doesn't have a metal base. This is all plastic, it looks like. But I actually like that. It's keeping the weight down on it, which is really nice. I'm going to go ahead and plug this adapter in because it is exactly the same. And then I'm going to plug in the Xbox now. So hopefully the Xbox has finished whatever it was doing. If you guys are just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. We're on the 5th of 6 monitors today on Black Friday. We're checking them all out here. These are all from the Sceptre company. Excellent 240 hertz. If you check the description on whatever service you're watching on, you will see the different monitors. If you visit my Amazon shop, you will also see those same monitors. So here we go. We are plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and see if that's the on-off button because it would be embarrassing if it wasn't. We're going to go ahead and launch into my Xbox. Even though this is more of a business monitor, I would say, because it's flat. We're going to load the Xbox up anyway. We were just downloading Rocket League. 100 hertz is not bad. If you've been gaming on 30 and 60 panels for a while, this is not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination to go back to 100 hertz. And this one for $89 is the most budget-friendly that we're going to get today. So Rocket League is firing up. You know what? This monitor is already really bright. It's got speakers. It's got the brand new OSD. So you're getting all of the neat innovations from Sceptre here. And this is going to be your 100-100. This is the 100% of sRGB and 100 hertz. I'm actually going to go through and I'm turning the backlight. The backlight's at 80 by default here, it looks like. I'm turning the backlight way down just so the cameras pick up the game better. I'm going down, I'm going down, I'm going down. Backlight's at 0 and it still looks great. Color, I'm going to have to look and use my calibrator and tell. So far, it looks good. And let me check view angle. So, yep. I got to go through all the legalese here so I can accept. Oh, man, this is such a colorful game. Yeah, this looks nice. So let me see if I can get you the color. This camera usually does color the best. Yeah, look at that color popping on this game. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit the field. I'm going to see if there's a training mode, only because I'm not that guy that's going to go in and then, rage quit out of the game while I'm doing a demo. Let's do free play. I'm trying to find a stadium that I like. Let me know if you guys still play this one, Wasteland. Okay, got a lot of oranges in here. 100 hertz. Let's see what I'm at, actually. Did it figure this out on Xbox? Let me go to the menu. Okay. 1920 at 60. So you can hook an Xbox up to it like I've done here and miss your goal. You can hook an Xbox up to it. Boom! Last Xbox scored. So there we go. You can, but it's going to be limited to 60 because it's just under that 120 that the Xbox only offers you 2 resolution choices. If you plug it into PC, you're going to get both resolution choices. There we go. I'm loving this joystick. I really hope they keep this joystick on all their future ones. And it's even showing me what I'm hitting on the joystick, just kind of a visual reference. It's got the overdrive capability, but you're not going to need that. It does have FreeSync. It just showed in the UI. I like that. So again, super affordable, good color. Is it as rich? Again, I'd have to see a few more games to know, just to see the difference here. Starfield needed an update. Did Forza Horizon? It's decent. View angle is really decent for what I'm guessing is a VA panel as well. And now it's night mode. Oh, is it coming back here? It's having to reload itself. So this is when you're running on the Xbox. This is my Xbox. And yeah, actually, this is really colorful screens here. So it's asking where I want to go next in this game. There we go. There's a little blur on that, but I think it's just because I was looking at 240 hertz monitors all day, and this is the Xbox at 60 hertz, so you get a little bit of judder. But that's because I've been staring at really clean screens. Super light here. I'm guessing 4 pounds, if that. So that'll be pretty cool to find out. I am going to switch off of this one. So this is that first monitor of the budget series. Right now, $89.99. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick at the Amazon page. We're off of the 240 hertz. Let's get out of that one. And we're going to go to this one, which is their 1 millisecond. This is a brand new 2024 model, they're calling it. So that is the model right there. It has 4.6 on 30,600 ratings. One of the best-selling monitors out there. I've actually done their 2475 hertz, and it was an excellent value monitor around the same price point. This is even better. So now we're getting a Black Friday deal, and we're getting 100 hertz with DisplayPort. The old one, I don't know if it had DisplayPort on that one. So let's take a quick look. It definitely has the color gamut, it's saying here. So there's color space, color gamut. Again, it looks good by the naked eye, but I will definitely do more testing on it. We talked a little bit about that VISA mounting capability. When you start getting into really cheap or budget monitors, you'll lose this VISA capability, and it's so nice to have when you're wanting the flexibility of mounting these. I could see this being mounted side by side, doing a couple of these. 2 of these is less than $200 with a decent arm. So that's pretty cool. Maybe $210 if you have 2 of these and you buy a dual monitor arm on a Black Friday special. So very cool. I'm glad to see that. I am actually going to pull up the other one now real quick, which is their 27-inch version of this, unless you guys have questions about this. But just real quick at the back of it, it does not have the RGB. It does have what I'm loving now. I'm falling in love with this single joystick button for control. Makes it a whole lot easier to navigate. I'm sure it's not as affordable for them to assemble using that type of control versus simple buttons, but excellent monitor there. We're going to end here on the next monitor after we unbox and set it up. You guys are getting to see how all of these get put together as well, which I love. We're going to do this last monitor, and then we will wrap it up. And then I got to prep for my next show at 5 Pacific. Like I said, I've got a show turn and burn here coming up. But this show today has been for Sceptre monitors and their Black Friday special. So if you're just tuning in, good to see you guys. I'm John, the Net Guy. Sceptre did ask me to put this promotional show together for you today, so there is a small consideration being paid there. I do have to disclose that, and I do get a single-digit percentage of whatever you buy today, if you buy it today. If the cookie decides to stick and everything else that the Amazon system does. But again, prices today are fantastic. It doesn't cost you any more to buy from me. Trust me. Wouldn't want that. Very similar construction. I'm just looking at the 27 versus the 24 that we just opened up. And we have a similar base plate, which I like. Got it. Okay, similar instructions. Now we've gotten rid of the screwdriver, which I'm kind of sad about. But again, this is at the budget end of the market. So we don't have to have that. We have metal where it counts. Let me show you here real quick. So there's metal at the joint. So that's the rest of it is a composite plastic. I don't know if it's nylon impregnated, but definitely the monitor is so light. It is not that hard to assemble here. So I'm just taking this, and it's a one-way lock. You turn it, it locks, and it's good to go. So bring you guys back over in the top down. We'll do one last assembly here. It does come with, it looks like, an HDMI cable. Yep. So you're on the HDMI, which is more standard for business machines anyway, honestly. And then it's going to come with a 2.5 amp 12 volt adapter. I'm going to save those off to the side here. I do need to make sure that I'm catching up on Amazon, make sure nobody had any questions. I'm going to go ahead and mark 27 on our Amazon, just so you guys can see. And we're assembling this monitor right now. This is going to be fun to turn and burn this show for the next one. There we go. I scheduled them right back to back, but I wanted to show you all of the great deals that Sceptre had for Black Friday. This is definitely one of them. The price on this one, you're getting a 27-inch monitor for $99. It's a $100 27-inch 100 hertz VA gaming monitor. It'd be good for business or gaming, and it's a 27. It's flat. So like I said before, 27 is that space right where you might want to consider a curved. But there you go. That was how fast it is to assemble. We did that real time. I'm going to go ahead and pull the cover off of here. I'm glad they don't want the covers back, because I do have to take them apart. It's very well packaged. There we go. So what are you getting in this? You're getting more screen size. Same number of pixels. This isn't 1080, or sorry, this isn't 1440 yet. It is still 1080 on these ones. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this one in. Let's see if there's any other games that we haven't played today. I'm trying to think. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the jack on the back. Let me show you that real quick. Whoop. Just moving our way over. Okay, so this is the I/O on the back. I just plugged in on this side. That is the power. It does have speakers. It has audio output. It's got 2 HDMIs like we talked about, and 1 display port. So there you go. So very simple. Also, another Visa mountable one here. It looks almost identical. So I'm trying to see if I got a glare on my monitor. Okay, that's what it was. It just looks like it was a reflection that was going on in there. It looked kind of weird on the GoPro. I want to make sure the screen didn't need to be cleaned. Maybe it does. Here we go. Try to clean this screen without. Is my GoPro sensor finally getting a hot spot on it? Oh, well, maybe. There we go. Gonna have to go back through. Here we go. We'll come back. I'll go get this set up and we will check it out. I'm going to do PC on this one. Let's do that real quick. And maybe I'll load up Fallout 4 just because I've been playing that one recently. So there we go. We're going to go plug this into my gaming PC back here. If this is your first time here, I'm John the Net Guy. Nice to meet you. Make sure you hit that follow button on Amazon especially. I'm trying to build my Amazon following, and this helps out. We are testing out this monitor from the Sceptre company. Again, only has tilt capability. I'm going to have to reprogram this camera real quick. Hold on one second. This is how the cameras work. There we go. Awesome. Okay, we were still in Fortnite, and it's still playing. So monitors there. Yeah, definitely colorful. That's the rich color on this. You know, it almost feels like an IPS for color. I'm getting a lot of purples, the darkness on there. Yeah, it's got a good contrast ratio, and that's not even tuned up. We'll go back into the on-screen display here. Last one, this is a 27-inch. Those are presets. I didn't show you guys that, but if you pull to the right, you can go to the preset modes. I wanted to go to the menu. Backlight's at 80% here. Now, we said that on the Xbox, this one was not going to be able to keep up. It was going to have some challenges, so I'm bringing the brightness down for the main monitor, or the main screen. Okay, I'm going to close all of this out, and I'm going to go to display settings. Then I'm going to exit out of this one. Okay, now if we go to advanced display settings, we've got the Sceptre there. Make sure you go down here under advanced display settings and you pick your refresh rate. Go all the way up to 100 here, and that's just going to be a better experience overall when you have one of these higher refresh rate monitors. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you're moving this around, there's already a little bit of ghosting. Again, this is $99. We're talking about 27-inch 1080p with 100 hertz refresh rate, and this is one of the most aggressive tests because it's basically dark gray to white. But let's also pull up the UFO test. Not a great test over the cameras that I have here, but we can pull it up and we can show that we're at least hitting the 100 frames. You know what? That's when I look at it in the UFO test, it's not as bad. You know, there is some streaking that you'll see, and you guys can probably tell even that it looks a little bit better. You know, even the 240 is hard on this one to capture because it is so fast. But there you go. So that is the machine. I'm going to see, do I have Fallout 4? See if it lets me bring it up. That's kind of a fun retro game. It's just starting. It's just detecting my new video. Oh, it changed to low quality because it couldn't detect. So we'll do low quality. Fine. That's fine. Let's do high preset. And then I'll hit OK, and then I'll say play. And if you guys haven't played Fallout 4, let me know. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and turn the volume down on this. Woo. Okay, the game's running down below. I got to get my cursor down so we can see it. You know what? There it is. It was in the full screen mode. There we go. So no, this isn't what the monitor looks like normally. It's actually an old reel-to-reel simulation. But this is another game. This is Fallout 4. Very old game nowadays, but I'm coming back to it. I'm playing it more. I just wanted to test it out here to see what it looks like at 100 hertz here on this monitor. And then I'm going to go just walk it around. Okay. So now I'm walking around this area. You can see the color on this. It's coming across really good. The view angle on this one, it does have a lot of color shift. I'll give you that. So if you're going to play a game with a bunch of people, when I come out here at least to 80 or 90%, the other more expensive panels we saw earlier, very little color shift. This one, dead on. The colors are great. That's why the camera is showing it so nicely. When I was looking at it sideways a little bit, not as good. So, and again, this one can be third person. There we go. So I can walk around this world. Ultra wide would be excellent, as I mentioned before in this one. So this would be, I think this is Sanctuary. They call it. We can sneak our way around. But that is for a 27-inch. I'm looking at the pixels, looking how close it is. You know, very clean display on this. I like this. So that is about going to do it today. This is the 27-inch budget 100 hertz, 100 sRGB, 100 hertz refresh rate, $100. So it's the trifecta, the 100, 100, 100, $99.97 right now. Today is $30 off, which is $130 normally. Oh, that's funny. I think you meant Metro is retro. Mario is retro. Oh yeah, Mario Kart for sure. You missed an eye on there, but absolutely. This is awesome. Jonathan Talks Hardware, another great creator here, is just checking in. He's out having fun on this Black Friday. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's talk real quickly. I'm going to go back to the monitors that we showed today. I'm going to go through the overview list. Let me get all the way back there and get them to display for you guys. There it is. And these are the monitors that we looked at today. The first set of monitors. This is the 240 hertz club minus the one on the end. And I'm going to turn that caption off here so you guys can see the bottom row. There we go. And the 280, 280, 300 nits, 400 nits of brightness. The ultra wide is the one I've been using for the last month, and I absolutely love it. Great value there. The ultra wide right now, I'm just looking at $239. That was the highest price monitor, was less than $1 a hertz here, for some of the 240s. The 32, my next favorite here for just massive screen size and high refresh rate. Great color on all four of those first ones. This series here, I can absolutely see, trying to hit a price point. And having seen a lot of budget monitors in my day, I can tell you they hit a lot of really cool things. You've got the single digit or the joystick control on this one. You've got the brand new on-screen display for the 2023, 2024 panels. Love that. And the on-screen, readout of all of your settings in a real nice summary. So that is the show today from Sceptre Monitors. I really appreciate them, making it possible. I also appreciated their sponsoring of the show we did yesterday. We did a show Wednesday. Yesterday was Turkey Day. That I did Wednesday with Nerd on a Budget. So thanks again, Sceptre, for sending a 24-inch to Noah, one of our creators, that is going to be loving to build his new PC that we're sending down to him, and he's got a 24-inch coming. So appreciate that. I'm just going to take one quick look at the chat, and then I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Amazon stream and make sure everything's good there. And I'm going to say thank you. I got Charles here on the Amazon, says hi, thank you. Talk to you all later. And with that, I'm going to end the stream on Amazon. Thank you guys for checking in. This has been a monitor show for Sceptre Monitors. We looked at 6 wonderful monitors. Feel free to go back and replay this one if you missed any sections on it. And the pricing, fantastic on all of these. Have a great and happy holidays here. I will be back at 5 p.m. Pacific time doing a show, not monitor related. They're completely different products, but you'll see me in a different shirt coming back here in about an hour and a half. Thanks, everybody, and I will catch you all in the next one.